Hey guys, today we will take a look at the F-18A Hornet, that being the 12.3 fighter slash attacker in the US tech tree. And yeah, this fighter sits at the battle rating of 12.3. It once was 12.7, but Gaijin didn't want to give it the new AIM-7P Sparrow missile, which is basically an AIM-7M with data link and inertial guidance. The F-18A was introduced in the early 80s and replaced the F-14 with the US Navy. But the F-18 is also in use with the US Marine Corps. But not only the USA used the F-18, similar to the F-4, the F-5 or nowadays the F-35, this fighter sold like hotcakes and was exported quite a lot. So quite a lot of countries bought the F-18. These countries being Spain, Switzerland, Finland, Canada, Australia, and many other countries. So I really hope that we will receive some more F-18 variants or at least skins for them. Alright, let's take a look at the weaponry of the Hornet, which is a pretty good weaponry to be honest. You receive the choice to use the AIM-9L as your close range IR missile, but you can also use the AIM-7F and AIM-7M, which are basically identical. Both of the missiles are pretty good. The AIM-7M is pretty fast with a top speed of Mach 4, 25 Gs of pull, and a pretty long range, but sometimes the Sparrow does weird things and you don't have the best pull. The AIM-9L Sidewinder is also a very potent weapon, featuring 30 Gs of pull, an all-aspect IR seeker, and a top speed of Mach 2.5. But it doesn't feature any IRCCM, but it does have decent flare resistance when shot rear aspect. You are also able to carry bombs and rocket pods and drop tanks. And you have some guided weapons, basically only the AGM-62 Walleye IR guided bomb. Oh, and before I forget it, you also get a FLIR targeting pod without any zoom and a pretty bad resolution. Let's talk about the pros and cons now. You have a pretty good weaponry, a good flight model, you have decent air to ground weaponry, good thrust to weight, good acceleration, and a very good radar with track while search modus. Now let's take a look at the cons. And there are some cons. You have kinda mid-energy retention. You can trade speed quickly, but it's maybe even too quickly. You can pull a lot of AOA, but you lose a lot of speed while you're at it. This isn't necessarily a pro or a con, but I would say it's rather a con than a pro. You also receive a kinda low count of countermeasures, which is only 60 low caliber countermeasures. And don't get me wrong, that's not terrible since many other planes also only receive 60, but it could be better. I mean, you can work with it, but it could be better, so it's not that big of a con, but it is a con. You also are pretty slow. I mean, yeah, you're supersonic, but that's it, basically. On the deck, you're only able to go like Mach 1.03 to maybe Mach 1.1, 1.2. So, what's my opinion on the F-18 Hornet? Well, I have to say, I had quite a bit of fun grinding it in the dev server, and I think that it will be kind of nuts at 12.3. Of course, the largest con, the speed, is pretty major, because it will cause your weapons to have a lower range, so you can't launch your Sparrows that far, like, you're pretty limited. The F-A-18 is kinda like an F5 to be honest, and it's very fun, but it's not the easiest plane to play. Now, before I head out, I have to talk a little bit about the premium F-18C early, which is basically the same plane as the Tech Tree F-18A. Now, this thing is a 12.7 premium airplane, and it's very versatile since you can carry bombs and fight pretty well also. But the big issue is that Gaijin is selling these things for 80 bucks, and let me tell you something. Paying 80 bucks without a sale just to get to high tier or like top tier, almost top tier, just isn't worth it, so stay away from it, man. Alright, that's about it for this video. I hope you liked watching me talking about the F-18, and I would love it if you would leave a comment or maybe a wish for the next video or something different. And as always, don't forget to subscribe.